Okay, so
I was just, it was like, I was at a moment in my life when it was just like everything had just hit me so hard, so fast, all at once. You know, it was just like, as long as I can get up and just breathe, I'm going to figure it out type shit, you know?
you wind up getting arrested. You wind up going to the juvenile detention center or whatever. And then how long from then till you actually getting convicted?
8 months.
It took 8 months?
Took 8 months.
You didn't even really go to court though. I mean, you
Yeah,
didn't have a trial or nothing because
I went to trial. I started off with a court-appointed attorney, and I really didn't like him. He like, man, like, you know, everybody felt like that so-called confession was like the nail in my coffin. They're like, they got the confession. But instead of looking and digging into the confession, they just looking at the surface of it. Like, it's a confession, closed case. You know, because that's how they look at it in the criminal world. You got a confession, you got a closed case. Like, nail in the coffin, nothing, there ain't nothing else to talk about. So instead of him looking at it, he like, look, man, you just confessed to 4 murders. I got to try to get you some best numbers as possible. I'm like, numbers, please. What? I'm not taking no plea. I ain't do it. He's like, but you got the confession. Like, bro, I didn't do it, you know? And we were always like bump heads. So my family, you know, they did come together. They paid for an attorney. My mother got me an attorney. And even that attorney wasn't like good at all. So I wound up going to trial. And in the middle of trial, one of the witnesses in my trial, she came to court, and she was a surviving victim. I believe she was like shot maybe like 9 times, and she wound up coming to court saying it was me. She couldn't ID me or anything. She said it was me based off my voice. She said the person sounded real young. Then when they went back and they investigated, she said that because of the police told her they had the person who did it, they just needed a little bit more evidence. And
they was finessing the whole time.
yeah, they was finessing.
Jesus Christ. So, all right.
And when I went to trial, and they made me say what one of the robbers had spoken to her while she was under the bed, even though she couldn't see him or nothing. She said one of the robbers had spoke to her and asked her where the shit was at. So they made me get up in court and basically say where the shit was at. And when I said that,
come on,
she like, oh, it sound like him. Like, yeah, that gotta be him. You know, it sounds just like him. And basically, when she did that, I was scared because I'm listening to jailhouse lawyers. I'm in a juvenile.
Yeah.
This is my first time. This some of these guys 3-4 times in juveniles in case. So I'm like, what's you know? They like, bro, like if you go to court, you go to trial, you get found guilty, you get life. You can't appeal, bro. You can't appeal no life sentence. But if you get some numbers or something, you can appeal that. But I'm not knowing. So mind you, all 12 of my counts, 11 of my counts out of 12 of my counts held life in prison, except for the felony firearm.
Well, that's why they trumped up the charges.
You know, so when she said that, I'm like, okay, come on, I'll take a plea. And my attorney's like, oh, you probably only get like 15 years, man. Like, you young, you 14.
How long did you get?
They want to give me 39 to 90. 39. My earliest release
39 to 90?
Yeah. My earliest release date was 2046. And my max out date was 2099.
You didn't find that out until sentencing?
To sentencing.
And so when you get them numbers in sentencing, what's going through your head?
What the fuck? Because I thought he was talking about months. When he was like 39 to 90, I'm like, nigga, he got to be talking about months. He can't be talking about the attorneys and the judge like years. They're doing it. I'm trying to do the math in my head while he's saying it. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's insane, bro.
I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? It was hard.
39 to 90, he might as well have rounded up.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Earliest release date was 2046. I believe it was September 2046. My max was like fucking December 20th, 2099.
Okay, all right. So let me ask you a question before I go into your experience with that whole thing, right? What is your view towards detectives, police officers, all of that today, as a result of what it is that you experienced when you was a kid? Like when you see a police officer or you riding in a car or anything like that, do you still get bothered or
Whoa.
are you scared or is it
Listen.
anything like that?
Listen, I done almost called myself maybe like, I don't know how many high speed chases. Just by them getting behind me
Yeah.
and just like I literally got into like a mini like high speed like high speed chase almost, but they knew who I was, and like I appreciate them officers, like they wind up letting me go, like they could have took me to jail, like I didn't stop, like it's like sometimes like when they like I just get to having flashbacks. Like my last time dealing with y'all, I lost 9.5 years of my life. I went through some of the most troubling shit like of my life. So of course, like when I deal with them, I instantly I tense up. It's just something like, I get scared. I do, but I don't. I wouldn't say I hate cops because I don't. You know what I'm saying? I actually respect them because like it was some cops who helped fight to get me out of prison. It was, what I'm saying, Michigan State Police. It was people on the Detroit, police task force who helped to fight to get me out of prison. So I'd be fake if I sat up here and say, "Oh, bro, I hate cops." Like no, no. It was cops who fought to help get me out of prison. When I came home, it was cops walking up to me when I was out, shaking my hand, telling me they were sorry for what happened to me. You know what I'm saying? And they colleagues couldn't even do that. The cops who actually put me in prison.
What happened to the detectives that wind up getting all of this and putting this whole thing together and finessing?
I know they basically was forced in retirement. They was forced into retirement.
Yeah, but they get to live comfy.
Yeah, they was forced into retirement. I know one of the cops actually could have got charged with perjury on my case because he did lie, and it was evidence. And
Yeah.
this again, the state police, I ain't gonna lie, I got mad respect for them people. The state police opened up an investigation in my case. They had my case for probably 2 years or a year because the Innocence Project, the Center for Wrongfully Convicted Youth out of Illinois, and Valerie Newman. And the state police, they went and they was investigating my case because they felt like I was innocent, man. And they went and they presented my case to the prosecutors and told her she should let me go. And if she didn't want to let me go, they was gonna take my case to the Attorney General office because they felt that I was innocent.